me, Tia Torres, of course. Who else would it be, right? Here we are with another episode of Wild Instincts. So let me step away from the training and filming aspect and talk a little bit about our downtime. Because we did get, we didn't really get a day off because we had to go take care of our animals, but we got time off. So, every day we had to go to the animal compound, feed the animals, clean them, their cages, whatnot. And then we had security guards, on site that watched the animals. And then we could at least take off for the day when we weren't filming. So I think I described to you in another episode how the city of Candy with a K was. Very busy. It was a small town, a fairly small city, but there were so many people. It was just packed with people, but also in a very not the best of conditions there. It was, I don't want to say it was dirty, but it was kind of dirty. There's approximately 125,000 people. So when I say there's a lot of people there, I don't know how big the city was, but I guess it would almost be like walking through New York City or Manhattan. It's just people bumping into you, but the streets were pretty dirty. One of the first things I noticed was that there was trash piled up all along the streets. And I'm talking like 3 feet high, 4 feet high, everywhere. And I questioned our interpreter. I said, why is there trash everywhere? And he said, we don't, have like a trash service. So they burn it. It was, and it smelled. It smelled everywhere. I remember walking past a prison. He told me it was a prison. And there was a little window in a wall that faced the sidewalk, the street. And when I mean a window, I mean like a cutout with bars. And I saw people going up to it from the street, and you could see them talking to the people in the prison. And I said, wait, they're allowed to have contact with people on the street? He said, that's their families bringing them food, because when you're in a prison in Sri Lanka, you're pretty much on your own. So just trying to give you the visual of what it looked like. There were a lot of like street vendors kind of thing. Like there wasn't like these beautiful sit down restaurants at all. There was very few. People had like food out on tables on the streets. And I mean, let's put it this way. You had to get used, or you had to be able to stomach knowing that you were buying food that had been sitting out on a table all day with flies all over it. Yeah, we actually got taken to the meat market. It was kind of like a swap meet, but they sold meat there as well. And it's pretty gruesome. Like, slabs of like pigs and cows hanging from hooks and just covered in flies. There was I actually have this picture still where there's some crows like perched on the meat that you're supposed to buy, by the way, and they're just like pecking at it, eating it. Yeah, it was pretty dirty. And it is true. It is one of those countries that do worship their cows. So there was cows sleeping in the middle of the street. You had to drive around them. I think I might have mentioned this before, but honking, if you had a vehicle, honking, and I don't understand the thought process, but when you're driving through the city, you honk, 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 honk. I'm like, but you don't stop. I'm like, what is the purpose of everybody honking? I never found that answer. And there's no rules. No road rules. There's no red light, green light, stop signs. You just go for it through intersections. May the best man win. So going out into the city was, we had to walk everywhere, or you could take like the little foot taxis where they pedaled you around like a bicycle kind of thing. But it was pretty exhausting. Um, Again, you know, very hot, very humid, no air conditioning anywhere. I think maybe in our hotel, the main banquet room, maybe, if I remember right, but not in all these little stores or restaurants. So I'm kind of giving you a visual what it looked like. So my little buddy, Brandon McMillan, I can't remember how old he was at the time, but he was young. And when we were getting ready to leave the States, America, his sister also worked for the same company. So sweet. And I don't know why she turned to me and said, please watch out for my brother. I'm like, I just started working here. Like, I don't really know anybody. And she's like, no, I want you to watch him. I'm like, why? I don't know. Maybe because I was kind of mean. I don't know. And he was kind of a handful. Typical young guy. So myself and another trainer, we walked from the hotel into the city of Kandy. And I hear my name being called. And I look over, and one of those little bicycle taxi things pulls up right next to me. And in the back of the little cart is Brandon with like 3 local Sri Lankan young guys. They're all like piled in there together. I actually think I remember right, one of the Sri Lankan guys was sitting on top of the other guys, like on his lap, just crammed in there. And I'm like, who are these guys? Oh, they're my new friends. I'm like, uh-huh, says the American in a foreign country. You're everybody's friend when you're in a foreign country and you're American. And I said, where are you guys going? And he goes, oh, they're going to take me to get a tattoo. The color left my face. I'm like, no, you are not. No, you are not getting a tattoo in this country. I'm like, it's not Europe, okay? This is not Europe. You're in a third world country, very unsanitary city right now. And I'm like, don't. Boys, as they say, boys will be boys. He took off, drunk, lapping, drinking, and yeah, he got a tattoo. Yeah, I thought I was going to lose my job for that one. So I had decided at some point, I know what it was. So in this country, it's not as strict as like the Middle East. It's still conservative, but not as strict. Like, we were kind of frowned upon that we were women and we were wearing shorts. Now, when we got there, we were wearing shorts, and they're like, no, you can't wear those here. So we ended up buying like boy shorts that went down to our knees. It was still not, it was still frowned upon, but we got away with it because we're Americans. But they preferred that we did not. They just said, well, be prepared. People are going to stare at you, the whole bit. So finding clothing that we could wear in that heat was very difficult because they just didn't sell it. A lot of people didn't wear shoes. Yeah, a lot of people were barefoot. So I got this idea because I passed by a seamstress shop, and I went in there, and one of the people spoke decent English, and I said, hey, would you be able to make me some clothes that I could wear in this heat, because you just don't have that here? And they said yes, and they told me where to go to like a flea market to buy material. So we kept on walking, and we found this little flea market, selling stuff literally. When I say on the street, it was laying on the street. And there was one vendor there selling material. And one particular design caught my eye. It was brown in color, but it was like leopard and tiger print, and it had like little pictures of like leopards and tigers and stuff on it. It was really super jungly, super cute. So I bought it, went back to the seamstress shop and I explained, I kind of like show them what I wanted. I wanted like a tank top. And I point to like, right above my knees because I wanted like a tank top dress to be able to wear with like sandals. And so, the woman, like nodded her head, she understood, what I wanted. And we come back in a couple of days and I pick up my cool tank top dress. So I go in the, she says, go in the dressing room to see if it'll fit. So I come out in the little dress with, barefoot because I took my boots off, my work boots off. Everybody in the shop. Explosion. Oh, no. Go. And they're like trying to push me back in the dressing room. I'm like, what? No. And they're telling me to take it off. No. And I'm like, what? And so she picks up my pants and like motions for me to put them on. And so the person who spoke English comes out and explains to me, you can't wear a shirt without your pants. I said, no, this is a dress. We call it a mini dress. And they're all like talking in their language and the person speaking English is explaining to them. And they're like, what? And they're just all looking at me. I said, yes, in America, the women wear these. And then you see like the giggling. And the women are giggling and smiling like, ooh. And I'm like, yeah, we don't. And so she explains to me, this is very cute. Not in those words, but you can't wear that here. You take it back to your home and you wear it. I'm like, I understand. But what was really cute was that the owner of the shop told me that the women were like so excited to see this, that they wanted to make more and be able to sell them to like any Americans that come there, and that they hope someday that they can wear them. Because you have to understand something. The women could wear traditional clothing, which was what they call a sari. A sari is S-A-R-I. It's like the long skirt that you wrap it around, and then it goes up and over the back, and then over your head, and then you flip the rest of it over your shoulder. And then you wear like a tank top underneath it, or you could wear like a sports bra kind of thing, but the sari had to be wrapped really good so you couldn't see a lot of your skin. You could wear, I forgot what they called it, was like a pants set where the shirt and the pants matched. They were made out of like linen, cotton linen, or you could wear pants, long pants. So that's what they wore back then. So I got my mini dress made, and years later I would have to look back and go, wow, Tia, you just introduced the mini dress to Sri Lanka. I'm a trendsetter. Oh my God, I'd love to go back and see if any women are wearing it. Anyways, so that was my little outing for that day. Just learning the culture, and it was fun. It was really fun. Okay, well, on to the next. In the meantime, stay super wild and go with your gut and always follow your instincts.